And a new ticker symbol trading on the New York Stock Exchange today, SEAS, Seas for SeaWorld. The amusement park company made a splash in its debut on Wall Street. The CEO rang the opening bell at the big board. You'll remember we told you last night that the company raised $702 million after pricing its shares at $27 each. They surged 24% on their first day of trading to close at $33.52. Now, earlier today, I spoke with CEO Jim Atchison and began by asking him, where is SeaWorld's growth going to come from?
We have a lot of ways to grow. You know, our core business is very strong. We operate 11 parks around the country, and we're generating great growth through them. We have other ways like our intellectual property, our brands and trademarks that we can monetize as well moving forward, and that's a strength of ours. And then there's other new park concepts that we can look at. We're opening a new park in California this year, Aquatica water park. So we have a lot of ways.
But you do face a lot of competition from people like Disney, from Six Flags. What are you going to do to get more people to come to your parks instead of theirs?
Well, I think what we have to do is stay focused on having a differentiated product. You know, we have 67,000 animals in our care and the know-how of what to do with them, right? We present them in a way and train them and exhibit them in a way that inspires people. And as long as we stay differentiated, I think people connect with that.
So a day pass costs anywhere from $80, $90. Are people really ready to pay that much?
Sure. You know, we have millions and millions of people already pay that much. And you know, when you think about it, though, it's a great value if you compare the cost of going to a football game, a basketball game. You know, really, and those are maybe 3-hour experiences. People are in our parks for 8 or 9 hours sometimes. So there's a lot of value there.
Now, given the tragedy at the Boston Marathon and new worries that people have about being in large public gatherings, what impact might this have, you think, on your attendance this summer?
As awful as the events were, I mean, I think we all realize that, you know, this is something that we can't reconcile and shouldn't treat as a norm. I think Americans are more resilient than that. They recognize, you know, in the face of terror, not to respond to it in that way. So I think people are going to be willing to get out, go resume their lives. You know, always remember and never forget that event. But I don't think they're going to change their lives. That's why you do something like that, right?
Is SeaWorld taking any action to step up security?
You know, we don't talk publicly about our security measures, but we're very confident with what we do and how we're doing it. We're always revisiting, always revising what we have, but we don't talk publicly about our measures that we have in place.
So you raised a lot of money today. What are you going to do with all that cash from the public offering?
You know, we'll be delevering some with these borrowings. So with this IPO, so we'll be reducing some of our borrowings. That saves some interest expense. That helps everybody and our shareholders for sure.
You came public at a very difficult time. I mean, this week we've had all of these big stock sell-offs. What do you think SeaWorld has going for it? You
know, I think the sector has proven to be more resilient than maybe people thought. You know, the current recession, you've seen the whole sector, the whole theme park sector actually, you know, really acquit itself nicely, performed quite well, and we're no exception. So I think when you look at the sector, it's a more defensive space than you might think. And then in our case, we're a total return story. We have great growth prospects, and we're paying a nice dividend with this offering. So, you know, we feel good about the offering that we have.
It is very unusual that you've said that you're going to be offering investors a dividend. Very rare for a new public company to do that. Why did you decide to offer a dividend?
Well, you know, it speaks to the strength of the company. You know, we generate a lot of free cash flow. We're looking at a total return story for our investors, so a dividend's a big part of that, and that's a solid part that we can offer.
Do you think that's going to bring more investors to buy into the stock?
Well, you know, people are looking for yield these days, for sure, and that's certainly an advantage.
And the SeaWorld IPO, by the way, is one of the 5 biggest offerings in the U.S. this year.